Hi everyone, welcome back to session 7. So we're now really getting into the thick of it here. We're now looking at order, add, subtract, and compare amounts of quantities using proper and improper fractions and mixed numbers. So let's have a look at what we mean by this. By the end of this session, learners should be able to find fractions of quantities. Learners could also aim to order, add, subtract fractions, and learners will be assessed on their ability to add, order, subtract, and compare amounts using proper and improper common fractions and mixed numbers. So a common fraction is where a fraction in which the numerator and the denominator are both integers. So an integer is a whole number that could be positive, negative, or 0. This means it doesn't have any fractions or decimal points. For example, -3, 0, and 15 are all integers, while 1.5 and 3/4 are not. Integers are a fundamental part of mathematics and are used in various areas, including algebra, number theory, and real-world counting and measuring scenarios. So hopefully that gives us an idea. So, for example, 3/8 there. The numerator is the top number above the fraction line. The denominator is the bottom number below the fraction line. Fractions can be proper or improper. A proper fraction has a numerator smaller than a denominator, for example, 2/5. An improper fraction has a numerator larger than or equal to the denominator, for example, 5/3. A fraction with the same numerator and denominator is equal to one whole. For example, 1/1 is 1, 2/2 is 1, 3/3 is 1, 37/37 is 1, 105/105 is 1, and 308/308 is 1. A mixed number is a combination of a whole number and a fraction, for example, 3.5. A unit fraction has 1 as the numerator, for example, 1/2 to 1/8 or 1/10. So some examples of fractions and how we say them. So fraction on the top is 1 whole or 1/10, 1/2, 1/5, 1/3, 1/8, 1/4, 3/8, 3/4, 1/9. So finding a fraction of an amount, we now show you how to work out fractions of quantities. For example, find 3/8 of 40. First, we find the unit fraction of 1/8 of 40. We split 40 into 8 equal parts, i.e. 40 divided by 8 equals 5. This gives us 1/8 of 40 equals 5. Now we need 3 lots of this because we want 3/8, i.e. 3/8. So we now need 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. A quicker way to get to the answer is 3 times 5, obviously, equals 15. The answer, 3/8 of 40, is then 15. In summary, when finding a fraction of the amount, divide the amount by the denominator. Find this answer. Now focus on the numerator and multiply your answer by the numerator. So, comparing fractions, which is bigger, 3/10 or 1/4 or a quarter? One way to decide which is greater is to use what we call mediating quantities. A mediating quantity can be the number, but usually choose to make any feature calculations as simple as possible. Oh, why is that not working? The idea is to find 3/10 or 1/4 of any mediating quantity and see which is greater. So let's use 40 as our mediating quantity, as it divides both by 10 and by 4. So 3/10 of 40 is 12, and 1/4 or a quarter of 40 is 10. As 12 is larger than 10, 3/10 must be larger than 1/4 or a quarter. Equivalent fractions. Another way to compare fractions is to use equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions have the same value. Each fraction will have a set of equivalating fractions. For example, 2/3 is equivalent to i.e., the same as 4/6, 6/9, 8/12, 10/15, and 12/18, and so on. Can you see why? If you multiply the number in the denominator by the same amount, the value of the fraction will stay the same. So in other words, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, equals 4/6. 2 times 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. You see? So 8/12, 2 times 4 is 8, 3 times 4 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10, 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 6 is 12, and 3 times 6 is 18. So if you multiply the numerator, this one, and the denominator, this one, by the same amount, the value of the fraction will stay the same. So all the fractions above are equal to 2/3. If we wanted to compare 2/3 and 3/5, we would convert them both to equal fractions with a common denominator. This means the denominators are the same. Equal fractions, 3/5 are 6/10, 9/15, 12/20, and 15/25. Now looking to see if we can find a pair of equal fractions with common denominators, referring back to the previous slide of equivalent fractions of 2/3. 2/3 is the same as 10/15, and 3/5 is the same as 9/15. 10/15 is greater than 9/15, so 2/3 is greater than 3/5. Note, any easy way to arrive to a common denominator is to multiply together two original denominators. In this case, this would be 3 times 5 equals 15. So simplifying fractions can be simplified if both the numerator and denominator can be divided by the same amount. For example, 6/8 can be simplified to 3/4, so that's halved, as both numerator and denominator can be divided by 2. Another example is 12/18 can be simplified to 2/3, as both numerators and denominators can be divided by 6. The aim is to divide both numerator and denominator by the largest number to the highest common factors. Fractions can be easily added if they're the same denominator. You just add the numerators, for example, 1/8 plus 3/8 equals 1 plus 3 divided by 8 equals 4/8, equals a half in a simplest form. What is the value of 1/9 and a 5/9? So 1 plus 5 divided by 9 equals 6/9 or 2/3. So when the denominators are different, you need to find the lowest common multiple of the two denominators and then write each one as a fraction, with the equivalent fraction using the lowest common multiple as the denominator. For example, 1/8 plus 1/6, we need to find the lowest common multiple of 8 and 6, and this is 24. So we write 1/8 as 3 24ths and 1/6 as 4 24ths. So that's 1/8 plus 1/6 equals 3 24ths plus 4 24ths equals 3 plus 4 divided by 24 equals 7 24. What is the value of a quarter plus a tenth? So the lowest common multiple here is 20. So a quarter plus a tenth equals 5/20 plus 2/20 equals 7/20. Fractions can easily be subtracted if they're the same denominator. So you can subtract the numerators, for example, 3/8 minus 1/8 equals 3 minus 1. over the 8, so that's 2/8, or a quarter is in a simplified form. So what is the value of 5/9 and a 9th? So you can see there, we've got the answer, but the denominators are different. You need to find the lowest common multiply for the two denominators and then write each one as a fraction with the equivalent fraction using the lowest common multiples as the denominator. For example, 1/6 minus 1/8. We need to find the lowest common multiples for 8ths and 6ths, and this is 24. So we write 1/6 as 4 24ths and 1/8 as 3 24ths. So that's this number here. So the value of 3/10 minus minus a quarter, and again here the lowest common multiple is 20. So you can see there you've got 6/10 minus 5/20 equals 6/20 minus 5/20 equals 1/20. Improper fractions can be written as mixed numbers. Convert 7/4 to mix a number. Solution: we want to know how many whole numbers we can get from this and what we will be left over. We know that 4/4 is the same as 1 whole, i.e. 4 4 equals 1 whole. So 7/4 is the same as 1 whole with 3/4 left over. Simplify. We can convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. So example, convert 2/1/5 as an improper fraction. So 2/1/5 is made up of a whole number of 2 plus the fraction 1/5. So 2/5. 2/1/5 is the same as 2 plus 1/5. Each whole number is made up of 5/5 as 1 equals 5/5. So that's the whole number. So 2 is the same as 10/5. Adding the extra 1 gives us a total of 11/5. So the answer then is 11/5. So by the end of this session, learners must be able to understand proper and improper fractions. Learners should be able to find fractions and quantities. Learners could also aim to order, add, subtract numbers. Learners will be assessed on their ability to add, order, subtract, compare amounts using proper and improper common fractions and mixed numbers. Please don't forget, you need to log in and do your skills sheets and worksheets to check your knowledge. I wish you all the best of luck, and I will see you in the next session.